Up next, we've got Jeremy Dela Rosa, who is the CEO of Leyline. Hello, Jeremy. How are you today?
Hi, Zach. I'm doing well. Thanks. How about yourself?
I'm very well, man. It's good to see you again. It's always a pleasure. Can you kindly give our audience a background into Leyline and what it is that you guys do?
Yeah, sure. We're an NFT project and ecosystem focused on social impact and really incentivizing and gamifying doing good in the real world. So part of the ecosystem that we built out includes this proof of good protocol, where essentially we're connecting different charitable organizations, social impact organization, academic institution to validate that a donation or a volunteer effort has taken place, and we build a reward system and good points on top of that. So yeah, we're focused on gamifying good and eradicating poverty is kind of the core mission.
That's fantastic. And there is going to be an ongoing theme throughout the event today of people having that as a charity mindset. And I'm really happy that you kicked us off with that great introduction, Jeremy. Can you kindly tell everyone, how did you yourself get involved in the blockchain and NFT space?
Well, yeah, I've been in the tech sector for about 20 years now. I spent the last 10 years over at Blizzard Entertainment, where I was shipping some pretty major games like Overwatch, Hearthstone, Diablo III, Starcraft 2. And one of the deepest concerns I had was whether or not that this gaming industry, with this immense amount of engagement and revenue flowing in, was actually having this positive impact on society. And in my eyes, I'm just deeply concerned about the trends that we're currently facing. If we're trying to tackle extreme inequality and the climate crisis, we've got to leverage all the tools we have available and harness a lot of this potential energy that humanity has. So to me, I saw Web3 and crypto as this pathway for decentralizing those power systems, as well as creating economic abundance for everybody across the planet. And to me, I think, there's a potential missed opportunity here if we're not tying these new types of economies directly into positive outcomes in the physical world. So just understanding the opportunity space and what we could do with the power of gaming and tech really inspired me to step out and try and build something.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And on that note, can you tell me, how do you feel that the metaverse and NFTs has changed your life personally?
It's obviously, turned me into an entrepreneur. So that's been a pretty radical change in my life for sure. But I think, it's instilled a lot of hope in me. I've been deeply concerned about like global trends and how our systems are unfortunately not very sustainable, particularly when it comes to our economic and kind of national governmental systems. And I think seeing this potential for a decentralized form of governance from the micro communities up to the macro communities and entire economies centered around these communities to empower them towards a particular cause or mission has really shown me that we could really solve a lot of these problems. I think some of these legacy models that we've been stuck with are struggling to deal with these kind of global crises that we're facing. And I think now more than ever, I see the amount of entrepreneurs coming into the space and solving these broader problems. And I believe that we're going to be able to tackle it. So I'm just full of hope and very inspired being in this space.
As you should be, man. How do you feel that the NFT market specifically has impacted the job market?
Yeah, there's a number of ways. I think they're certainly creating a lot more financial freedom. And I think that unlocks a lot of mobility. So, I think NFTs have created this brand new way of fundraising for projects. So it's much easier to become an entrepreneur, raise capital from a community versus a smaller set of specific venture capitalists or investors. So I think you're probably going to see this explosion, not just in entrepreneurs, but even individual creators and artists and musicians. So I think you're going to see an incredible propagation of art and music and gaming and just totally radical new projects that are kind of pushing the envelope in innovation. So I think NFTs as a vehicle for fundraising tied to identity and community is extremely powerful. So that part's like very, very interesting. And I think what happens is that's actually creating disruption in like the physical world job space or kind of traditional companies where people are much more mobile. They can basically launch a company pretty much from anywhere as long as they have like a laptop and internet. So I think it's actually going to create a lot of competition, which is good. And I think it's going to drive up wages across the board. So I think, quite a bit of positive impact for individuals for sure.
Absolutely, I agree with you, man. And to end our fantastic conversation that we just had, I would love to ask you, what advice could you give to anyone who's interested in getting involved in this industry?
Yeah, I mean, education and like learning, I think is super critical. The space moves incredibly fast. It's incredibly complex. So there's actually many different verticals to study, whether it's like NFT collectibles or NFT art, or if it's DeFi and coins, or if it's play to earn gaming. All of these different verticals have different communities and behaviors and cultures and models. So I think doing a deep dive and getting to understand how this stuff works is critical. And one of the easiest ways to do it is just join some of those communities, whether they're on Telegram or Discord, and observe and listen in. And you can even ask questions and say, hey, I'm new here, I'd like to learn. I think people in a space are very heavily invested in helping to onboard new people because they know that it's a very difficult journey and difficult learning curve, but it's also in their best interest. There's the more people in their community, the more the value of their tokens rises. So it's really a win-win ecosystem. So I think don't be afraid to come into a community and ask for help. I think you're going to get a lot of support. And it's a perfect pathway to get started.
That was fantastic, man. I really appreciate you joining us today. If anybody would like to get in contact with Jeremy, there is a link to all of his social media platforms in the description of the video below. Jeremy, enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.